Hi there, I'm Mistel Godlewski, an American girl who called the cornfields of Illinois home until over 10 years ago when I started navigating the chaos of life overseas. If you've ever felt that itch for something more, that whisper telling you to break free from the ordinary, you're in the right place. This podcast is your backstage pass to the wild ride of moving abroad. I'm here to pull back the curtain on the real journey, sharing stories that are funny, dramatic, and sometimes downright unbelievable. We'll explore the gritty details, from battling culture shock and navigating tricky visa processes to celebrating those small victories that make it all worth it. So whether you're daydreaming about a new life abroad or already in the thick of it, grab your passport and let's explore what it really means to live life beyond borders. Welcome to A Broadly Speaking. Hey friends, welcome to the Broadly Speaking podcast. My name is Mistel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I am super excited about today's episode. It's something that a lot of people have asked me about on Instagram recently, and maybe you're thinking the same thing. If you are moving abroad with a pet and you want to make sure that they get there safely, you're probably thinking, well, Miss Dale, I don't know about them cargo things, because we've all heard the story. Horror stories. That's the word I'm looking for. We've all heard horror stories about how pets are not taken care of on the flight, how people are constantly losing pets on the flight. And the truth is, people move abroad all the time with pets, specifically military members, families, etc. We moved abroad the first time with two cats from the United States to Switzerland, and then unfortunately, one of our cats died in Switzerland, and so we moved to Austria with just one cat. We've done it a couple of different ways. I just think you need to know that your pet, your family friend is going to be okay. So I want to talk about how you can move abroad without feeling like your pet is never going to survive the flight. You ready? Moving abroad is already a circus. You're juggling housing, visas, flights, and an overwhelming sense that maybe you've already lost your mind somewhere along the way. And then just when you're about to feel proud of yourself, you realize that you haven't figured out how you're going to move Fido across an ocean. Furry, opinionated little family members who think your lap is their kingdom and your suitcase is their bed. And suddenly at 2 a.m., you're Googling things like, do cats actually survive cargo? Hint, yes, they do. How much trauma is too much trauma for a dog? Or can hamsters move internationally? Don't ask me who asked that one, but okay. And if you're anything like me, you'll go down a spiral so deep that you'll start questioning whether you should just give up on the whole move abroad thing anyway, because what if my cat never forgives me? Or what if I can't take them abroad? Here's the part that nobody tells you. Number one, your pets are way tougher than your anxiety gives you credit for. And number two, yes, it's possible to move them across an ocean. Moving abroad definitely takes planning, money, and paperwork. Yes, there will be moments where you question whether you're a monster. And yes, they will survive. Honestly, they'll probably bounce back faster than you do. I know this because I've done it twice. All right, first, my story, just so you know I'm not telling you something that I haven't lived. Round one was two cats. Switzerland to cargo. I had full on nightmares about frozen airplane holds. We moved in December. So I thought they were going to be too cold. I thought the cages might break open, that the cats may escape somewhere in Zurich airport. One of my cats was so curious. His name was Oliver. Oliver was so curious about everything that I was afraid he would try and stick his head through the grate of the carrier. He was dumber than a box of hammers as well. But I think it's really important to realize that I had all this anxiety. I sweated through every form that we had to fill out. I triple checked every box of microchip number here and rabies vaccine date there. I imagined every scenario short of my two cats hijacking the plane, which could have probably been something I considered along the way too. And then they arrived alive, chill, ready to resume their favorite activity, which was judging me with disdain from the couch. Round two was just our one cat going to Austria. In that case, we were able to take her in cabin. It was way less stress. There was no quarantine drama. She rode under the seat like a furry little stowaway, offended the whole time, of course, but safe. If I can manage to move abroad with 2 cats and a newborn, dozens of boxes, and the creepy dread of, oh my God, did I make a terrible mistake of leaving everything I know? Trust me, honey, you can too. So, people get a lot of things wrong about moving abroad. When it comes to moving their pets, most people believe that either they can't do it altogether and start believing the internet horror stories and stop before they've even started. Or they panic so hard that they start convincing themselves that it's truly impossible. Or they spend months obsessing about whether to choose cargo or cabin when, spoiler alert, the decision is mostly made for you based on the weight and your airline rules. The truth is much simpler, not easier, but simpler. There are only really a handful of paths. Pick which one fits best for you, prepare like hell, and let's stop overthinking. So, option one is in cabin. If your pet is small enough to fit in a carrier underneath your seat, congratulations, you've practically run the lottery. You get to keep them with you, comfort them, and keep your own spiraling anxiety somewhat contained. They may cry, they may give you a side eye indefinitely, but you'll both land in one piece. The downside, there's of course size restrictions. Airlines are also super strict, and if your fur ball weighs more than the limit, it's a no-go. You also have to book in advance because there's only so many animals allowed in cabin with them. Option two is cargo. Honestly, this is what we chose for our cats when we moved intercontinentally. Intracontinent within the continent, we decided to take our cat in cabin. When we were moving the two of them, we decided to take them through cargo. Why? Well, for a number of reasons. Number one is because Switzerland had a 7-day pre-quarantine rule, or else they would have had to quarantine for 30 days when they got here. They also needed all their USDA checks and vet checks and everything else that they needed to get done. And it was just simpler for us for them to fly cargo. Big pets will always need to fly cargo unless you go with option three, which is the really expensive, not so easy option. Multiple pets often go here. And yes, I know the internet is full of scary stories, but here's the truth. Airlines that allow pet transport treat them as live animals, not as luggage. They go in a climate control, pressurized hold. They'll be safe. They're monitored. It is definitely not the Hunger Games down there. Will you still panic? 100% yes. Will your dog or cat survive? I would say yes. Okay. Your third option is one that if you're really feeling like it's completely impossible to put your cat or dog in the cargo hold of a plane and you feel like that trauma is going to be with them and for you forever and ever and ever, and the only other option is a boat. Yes, really. Some people ship their pets by sea. Of course, this is very slow and it's not an option for every single route. But if you're moving long term, sometimes it may make sense. I'll be real. I have never done this. And unless you're also a fan of Victorian era vibes, you may not choose to do that either. There is one boating company that I'm aware of that allows animals on board, and you can then transatlantic your way to whatever port that you need to be, like Amsterdam or the UK. But then how you further transport your animal from that port into your final destination country is a whole nother mess that you need to consider. The part that really sucks, though, is not really getting your pet there. It's the paperwork that you need to do before. If you want to know what hell really looks like, try filling out pet import forms while your cat sits on the keyboard and deletes everything. Here's what you're likely dealing with. You're dealing with a microchip, sometimes a specific isotype. You're going to need to know what is required. You're going to need rabies vaccines timed correctly with proof that it's within the certain amount of time. A health certificate signed by a vet, sometimes endorsed by your country's agricultural department. In the United States, to export a pet, you'll need to get USDA clearance. So that's the animal welfare clearance. For import permits are required in certain destinations, meaning you've now been able to import your animal into the country. And then, of course, there's quarantine rules depending on the country that you're moving to. This is where most people honestly lose their minds. Pro tip, don't rely on expat forums on Facebook or other internet social groups. Go straight to the government website of your destination country, confirm with your airline, then confirm again and again and again, because pleading with a customs official that fluffy, has separation anxiety, is not going to work for you. I hate to tell you. When you're ready to move, you're going to prep your pets and yourself. So let's be honest, a lot of prep is really about managing your anxiety and not so much your animals. Still, these things might help. Get them used to their carriers early. Leave it out, feed them in it, make it part of your normal life so that it doesn't just show up one day and they're shoved inside. Exercise them before the flight. Dogs, especially, wear them out as much as you can. Pack with them a comfort item. Maybe that's a blanket or a toy, or yes, even a sock that they love to steal. Smells are comfort for animals. That being said, don't give them something that you will regret not getting back. We packed a blanket with each of our cats that smelled like them. Our male cat peed all over his, and our female cat threw up in hers, so they threw them away. So it's just a consideration. Make sure it's something that you don't mind parting with, meaning don't make it their very favorite toy that they can't live without, but also make it something that smells like them to help them. Of course, food and water are necessary. Follow the airline rules, but don't starve them. And of course, also don't overdo it. And for you, maybe don't doom scroll horror stories in the middle of the night anymore because that's going to just make it harder. Once you land, there's some weird bits and pieces. Getting them at the airport is definitely not the end. You'll still have to help them settle, just like you have to help yourself and your kids settle. You're going to have to do a vet visit. Always check in right after arrival. Make sure they didn't pick up something. Make sure that everything is normal. Make sure that you set up a routine health visit. Pets thrive on predictability here too. So start it straight away, whatever that new theme is. Do realize that pets also get jet lag. So don't be surprised if Fido is suddenly wanting to have a bathroom break at 2 a.m. That was his, potty break before you guys went to bed the night before. That will take some adjusting to get to. You're going to want to give them some quiet places to decompress. What we chose to do is in our air shipment. So we had an air shipment and a sea shipment. On our air shipment, we had additional items in there that smelled like them. That enabled them, as soon as they arrived, they had the stuff that sort of already smelled like them. It already made it smell like home. And it made it easier for them to transition. We left the temporary living facility that we were in for an hour or so they could explore it freely by themselves. We had their little box set up already. They were able to figure that out, but we gave them a little bit of time to kind of decompress and really get into their new space. And then again, when we moved shortly thereafter, we were in temporary housing for about 8 weeks. When we moved into our permanent home, we did exactly the same thing again. Of course, by then, all the furniture that we shipped over smelled like them. But if you're buying all new furniture, for example, give them time to mark the place as their own. The last thing is patience. They may sulk, they may hide, they may judge your life choices. Honestly, samesies, let's be honest. But you want to give them the space that they need and the space that you need to really settle in as you go. The hardest part about moving abroad with pets is not the flight, it's not the paperwork, and it's not even the expense. Though, let's be real, honestly, that's not cheap. It's the guilt. It's that voice in your head saying, what if they hate me forever? Or what if I'm ruining their lives? But the truth is this: your pets want to be with you. That's it. They don't care about what continent you're on. They don't care if your apartment is smaller, if the neighbors speak another language, or if you're crying into your coffee wondering if you can all pull this off. They want you, and you're taking them, and that's what matters. I'll be honest, moving abroad with pets is far from Instagram perfect. It's messy, it's bureaucratic, it's expensive, and honestly, it's full of 2 a.m. panic Googles if you're anything like me. But the truth is it is doable. And more than doable, it's absolutely worth it. Because yes, they'll survive. They'll adjust, and they'll probably handle the whole thing a whole lot better than any of us do anyway. So stop spiraling. Stop imagining your cat glaring at you in baggage claim like you personally ruined their lives. You probably already did. You've got this. And honestly, if my cats could forgive me for sending them in cargo, your cats will too. Because if you ever met my female cat, woo, Mistletoe was quite a girl. Let me know if you have any questions about moving abroad with pets. I'm happy to talk about it. Like I said, there's really only 3 options to get them across an ocean. If you're moving across an ocean, of course, if you're moving within driving distance, it's a different world. But if you're moving across an ocean, it summarizes to cargo in the cabin or on boat. But of course, each of those comes with their own level of challenge and adventure. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll meet you over on Instagram at I am Estelle. Otherwise, I look forward to chatting with you on the next episode. See you then. Thanks for tuning in to Broadly Speaking. If today's episode got you dreaming a little bigger or thinking a little braver, go ahead and hit subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who's ready for their own adventure. And hey, don't be a stranger. Come hang out with me over on Instagram at I am Estelle for the real, unfiltered life abroad. Keep that passport handy, and remember, life's too short to stay in one place.